Hey everyone.
Hello.
I don't think we have too many in the chat yet, but we were all bored and thought, let's hang out. Hang out, have a drink, and relax. Hey Chris, can you hear us? No, we got two watching. I don't get to enjoy a Saturday night off of work too often, so I thought it'd be fun for a little hangout time for all of us. So I hope you're doing well, Chris. So what's everybody been up to? Anything new with you guys? I know we oh hey Michelle and Carrie G, hello.
Hi Belle, Carrie G.
We all have an adult beverage to partake in. If anybody is drinking, cheers to you. Oh, this chat just got fast all of a sudden. Oh, Chris, thank you. I am feeling better. I do have a little mild cough and a little phlegmy still, but I'm feeling a lot better. Thanks for asking. I'm not sure if it was COVID. I took 3 COVID tests and they all came back negative, but my symptoms were exactly the same as this new variant, so I'm pretty sure that's what was going on. Hey, Cindy P and Vivian, Rosemary, Michelle, Carrie G. Ooh, Carrie G. What are you drinking, Carrie? Well, I am drinking some Patron Reposado with an ice sphere to chill it without diluting. What are you guys drinking?
I'm drinking a rum and 7-Up.
I'm drinking
spice rum.
And you're drinking Captain? Are you drinking Captain Straight, Dean?
Captain.
Or
I'm not Crown. No, I have it mixed in with soda. I can't do that just plain. That's gross.
I'm drinking Tequila Straight.
Well, geez, and I like tequila.
My husband likes me when I drink tequila too. Hey, G-Mod, say seeing you. I feel like it's been a little bit.
Yeah, hi, G-Mod.
You get frisky, do you?
Janet and Angel and Carrie and Cindy.
I'm not a big tomato juice fan, Cindy, but back in my day, I've been told by many people I've made them the best Bloody Mary.
I can make them, but I will not drink them.
They're not my fave, but my secret for it is when you add that little briny element to a Bloody Mary.
That the Tabasco?
Hey, Melody. Oh, always Tabasco a little bit. If you have it, a little bit of fresh horseradish is good. And pepper and salt, celery salt.
A little bit of celery salt.
A little bit of celery salt. But when you add the brininess, usually they use a little bit of olive juice.
Oh, yeah.
My special recipe is using either pickle juice or peppercini juice.
Ooh.
Yeah, pickle juice, Cindy. Right. That's my secret ingredient. And a little Worcestershire sauce. I don't say that right.
Oh,
but
Worcestershire?
Worcestershire. Oh, no, I don't do olives.
Actually, both are correct. It can be pronounced either way.
Black cherry salsa vodka with squirt of black cherry flavor. Nice.
Ooh.
Well, I'm glad to be on, and I missed my my little followers and my little community this week. I haven't been on as much as I'd like to lately. It's just been hectic, and then with the holidays.
Kevin has been working diligently on his predictions.
Yes, I'm working on my predictions.
Really busy doing that.
Well, and I've had all week off of work, so I got my weather predictions done.
It takes a lot of energy, though. If people don't.
Thursday.
If you're not a reader and you haven't done those kind of predictions, it's really intensive when you're doing those deep meditations and.
Yeah.
Because
I got my weather and earth event done on Thursday, and today I got my COVID and U.S. economy stuff, but I still we have a lot of political stuff to dive into as well. So a lot of
they're fantastic because he sent me a sneak peek.
Yeah, the weather. Kathy said she felt like she was on the Weather Channel as I was.
Oh yeah, because I end up channeling it as I'm reading it, and I could just see everything he had predicted. It was like literally watching a Weather Channel documentary of all these weather events. It was crazy.
But yeah, I'm working on that. I'm hoping to have that out next week. If it's not next week, it will definitely be out the following week.
Wow, so. This is hot. So
I'm excited to share my predictions
so
for 2022 with everyone.
Oh,
don't be getting me in trouble on YouTube, Kathy.
I'm wearing a t-shirt.
Oh,
okay. I was just trying to pull it down to make sure it didn't come up with a sweatshirt. I mean, I'm wearing a sports bra underneath, so you know. So it's I look like I just came out of yoga class. So.
Oh yeah, Chris. Chris has been telling me lately that my predictions are matching up with her predictions. So.
Yeah, well, his predictions are matching up with my predictions. He went further. I stayed in the United States where he jumped across the oceans. And I love that. I still have predictions I hadn't talked about, though, on the Supreme Court and stuff like that. And I'll do an updated video. Maybe
I'm focusing mostly on U.S., but with like weather, and I will get into a little bit of stuff in countries, but it's mostly.
Well, you hit the Ring of Fire and stuff, and yeah. And I touched base on it, but I didn't actually look at Japan and.
Well, I just pulled up the world map and was going wherever my guides were showing me. And
yeah, I didn't pull the map up, but I do that when I do weather because it helps me pinpoint where I'm focusing on.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and I've never
all
tried
the details of the tornadoes. I can see the tornadoes, but I can tell you what states they were hitting. I just know they're going to come.
I felt one of them coming after a hurricane hit, and I think it was in Alabama.
Yeah.
A really bad one. But I don't want to spoil too much. We'll get my predictions out next week or the following. Better late than never. I know we're already in 2022, but I'm going to not procrastinate. I'm not going to procrastinate come next year. I'm going to start my predictions
in December.
And I might do it a little bit earlier, to be honest, because December is always so crazy for me. I might start in November.
Well, hopefully we'll be near each other. Maybe we can sit down together and do an energy circle, which is really fun to do because it pulls so much information in. Right. I know when we do it online, when we do it texting and online, we get such strong hits. I can imagine if we're face to face, one on one, how much we'll pull in. So, because it does change that energy draw.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is my first year for doing predictions. I think all of us, Dean said he hasn't done that yet, but
I've never done anything like that before.
Well, I think it's always fun to open your mind to try doing it.
I mean, what I do is I usually do like a monthly reading or a yearly reading, like say like what Spirit need us to know. That's what I do. You
usually do more personals too, and you don't get into the world events and political stuff too.
Yeah, you stay out of
although political can be fun, but because I don't have any real, I'm kind of like I don't keep up with all of that. And get everybody's cat fight, so you get like an unbiased reading when you do that.
Yeah, you're fun to read politics with. We've done it offline, but
and it's nice too with Dean because not that I think me and Kathy always agree with his politics, but it is nice to have somebody out there that has a different point of view rather than all of the readers that we see that are all we're all pretty similar in our political beliefs, so.
And I'm the odd man out.
You're more moderate than we are.
Yeah, quite a bit more moderate than us, but that's all right.
Yeah.
But no, I respect that.
Still love you.
I like that because we can actually have a conversation and it's not a fight. It's a decent conversation.
Oh, I got one question already. And I'm excited to star because I haven't used the star thing on here yet. Yeah.
I did though, and it works great. And then it posted on the side for starred.
Yeah.
Oh, you've already started one.
Yep, I saw Gmail's question. That's the only question I've seen so far. we're going to answer some questions, but we're going to hang out too. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't read well with more than a drink in me. So I guess we'll see if I partake in another beverage, how much reading will get done. But I thought, I don't work. I usually always work on Saturday nights. So the fact that I've been home all week would be a fun time to hang out with everybody. But I got your question, G-Mom. We'll do some readings here in a few.
Yeah, it's Tucker. He's starving.
We'll go feed your cat.
That's Tucker, my black and white tuxedo cat.
Mm-hmm.
The starving one.
We'll go feed him.
I did when I went in the kitchen and made my drink. I fed him because he was.
I just looked at that. I think yes. I see yes. I feel yes.
It's in my predictions that I haven't. I haven't gotten to it yet, but it's definitely going to be a part of it.
You want to say hi to everybody? Before I throw you outside.
That's the mustache cat, right?
This is my mustache cat. Yeah, he's got the
handsome.
He's handsome. He's a lover. He comes in and jumps on me and throws himself on me. Love me.
I didn't get a positive test result, Connie. I got 3 negative, but I was exposed to a couple people that had it, and I had the same symptoms as this new variant. So I am like 90% sure that that's what I had. But I'm vaccinated, and I got my booster in December. So it was very mild for me. If you have a question, Debsy, you can send it. We're more hanging out tonight, but we'll get a couple questions in, whether you want to do a personal or political or whatever. I think we're all down for whatever. Probably not too many questions, but we'll do some.
So
the hair is gonna fall on my face.
So according to that question, Virgimons,
I'll post it if we want to do it. I definitely I don't even need to throw cards.
I don't need to throw cards on that one because I feel yes.
It's 3 years.
So my question I asked on top of that is, will both parties work together to support whoever he puts in there or chooses to? And I'm getting a yes to that.
Yes.
There'll be some.
There'll be a few objections, but
a couple.
But overall, it's going to be a yes, though, I feel.
He's going to add 1 seat, is what I feel. And I think he's going to add it before. Well, I'm not entirely sure, but I think he's going to add it before anybody resigns or leaves, because I see 2 other justices leaving.
The 2 I see leaving is Thomas and
Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh.
I drink beer, yeah.
I'm feeling 1 coming in at the end of this year, and I think it's because what my suspicion is I think there's going to be a lot of outrage, because I think that some things with Roe versus Wade are going to be messed with, and Biden's going to have enough, and they're going to change the rules to be able to add one. I see a black woman coming.
I keep on hearing the number 22. That's going to be the change. That's going to be 22 weeks is going to be the cutoff for abortions, legal abortions. And I keep on hearing the reasoning behind that is because at 23 weeks, fetuses are viable at birth. It's a tough birth. It's an NICU, very struggling for the baby, but the baby can survive at 23 weeks. I don't think they've had very, very rare that a fetus survives at 22 weeks at birth. That they usually don't sustain a healthy life. I have a lot of complications with a 22-week birth. But I keep on hearing that that's going to be the cutoff number. It's not going to be 6 weeks, but it's reasonable. Abortions are going to be something that's going to have to be taken through the courts and serious medically necessary type reasons for it.
But they're going to start changing stuff, and there's going to be a lot of. I don't see them getting rid of Roe versus Wade completely.
No.
But I do feel that there will be some changes, and there's going to be a lot of backlash on the conservatives for doing that, and I believe that is why Biden will be adding a judge. I see 10, is it 9 judges now? So it would be 10. I believe the first one coming in, I see a black woman coming in. She's going to be really sharp and intelligent. And then I think it's Thomas that leaves first, and then Kavanaugh's a couple years, I think like 1 or 2 years out.
Kavanaugh is going to be basically forced out. I don't think they'll actually do the impeachment. I think they'll head that direction, but he'll leave on his own recognizance. Thomas, I see leaving on an excuse of medical retirement.
That's not really the reason. But
his health is not good. I'm not feeling like Thomas's health is good at all.
It's not good, but I feel like it's mostly to protect his wife.
Yeah.
It's going to be the excuse used, although he does have some
excuse he used, but he does have some health problems. It's going to hit him after he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to have a next tough year or two because of his health.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a long life expectancy is the way I would put it.
I can agree with that. I think he's got some time still, but
he's got some time, but he's going to have some serious health repercussions.
Hey, Silver.
Hi, Silver.
That really doesn't surprise me, Debsy. She said that. Did anybody see the video of? She said "frucker."
I did with Ted Cruz.
No. Oh, I saw that, but no, she's talking about Tucker Carlson saying that large doses of Viagra is being used to wake up people with COVID who are on ventilators. Is this their new push for vax alternatives?
Oh my God.
Doesn't surprise me any. So delusional, these people.
I've never heard such a thing.
Could you imagine all the guys that are in that getting?
But sadly, I'm sure that there's enough people that would actually believe it and try it.
Wow.
Well, I hope they don't give it to their children. I mean, come on, they're giving them dirt with arsenic in it, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Did you see DeSantis press?
I didn't. He's been quiet
press
lately.
Meeting. He stood up and was blaming Biden because they're not getting the I can't think of it. What did he say?
I posted it. Give me the Pfizer boner pill, not the Pfizer vax. I love Debsy. She cracked me up.
Shit.
You know, it's funny because they use that as an asthma treatment too.
Really? Good
Yeah.
to know.
So, you know, if you're having an asthma attack and you don't have your inhaler, try Viagra.
Yeah, my husband meant like that, right?
It'll help you catch your breath.
Yeah. You keep your husband happy too. Right. I heard an echo. Debsy says, but honey, you didn't test positive. Let the Viagra away, please.
Oh, you may be hearing my mic.
Yeah, I think it's you.
I got Ron and Karen on my phone. Let me turn that off. Okay. Because I was watching them before we decided to go live. It was so nice to see Karen on too.
So does anybody else have any questions? Let me have another drink. I don't know how much longer I'll be reading for.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I gave Kevin a limit before we started, just to let everybody know.
Well, I just left my bottle upstairs because I don't need to be twerking towards the end of this video.
Yeah. Oh, we get him to dance and everything and get all wild and crazy.
No, it's not happening on my channel. I'll have fun on other people's, but not mine.
Don't want to borrow the Tarot Lounge night format. I'm sure Sharon and Lisa wouldn't mind.
I'm sure that they wouldn't mind.
But you did twerk on my channel.
Right. I don't mind twerking on other people's channels, but I won't be getting.
Oh, okay, so it's okay for other people, but not for you.
Yeah, because I'm being entertaining on your channel. I don't want to upset my viewers. I don't care if I upset yours.
I think you actually even got me up to twerk. I think it was after
we
hours,
all did.
So
yeah,
we all did it.
Jesus.
Not much of it. I don't sing on air because I don't have a voice. I have a hard enough time talking. So I always tell everybody my throat chakra.
Gima said but they didn't say what part of their body was waking up.
Yeah. Cindy P had a question.
Yeah, I started.
But I don't know. I mean,
I don't know about this. Timing's really hard. I definitely see a lot of indictments coming out.
I think they're coming in February, March, come spring. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling too. There might be there's going to be a couple more with the January 6th.
Although I do think they should do FTAs on the Trumps for not showing up for their subpoenas, and
I'm hearing 13
up on bonds
coming from.
And I don't know why they don't do that, because if it was any of us, guess what? They'd have a bench worn out and have us picked up and brought to the courts to be presented for our subpoenas.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they're not doing that with the Trumps. And they're under the same rule of law. They should get the same treatment any of us would do.
When you two were talking, I heard the number 13. I have no idea what that means.
For what?
About any new indictments coming down. I heard
could be 13 weeks, but I kind of feel like that's a little off. But it could be 13 indictments too. That's what my mind first went to 13 indictments.
Doesn't mean 13 individuals. There could be 13 charges in the indictments.
Yeah, that's true.
Because an indictment could be multiple charges.
Right, Debsy. Hoping there's an Oprah episode of indictments. You get an indictment, and you get one, and you get one.
Why did Judah get engaged?
Merry Christmas. Belated Merry Christmas.
That is an interesting question. Why did he get engaged? I will say this. He probably got engaged and trying to get married now so that he wouldn't have to so him and his significant other would have to testify against each other.
Yep, that's what I got.
And she did a $3 million fundraiser that they don't want to have to talk about.
Yep, they got married so she wouldn't have to testify against him.
Okay, let's see. What about that energy?
Did they actually get married already, or is that happening? Did that happen today?
Does anybody know if Junior got married already? I thought he got engaged, but I didn't. But he could have got
engagement. But I think they're going to speed it up the process. They may elope, honestly, just to get it done out of the way.
Well, we know Trump's not going to give the big bash.
No, not yet.
That woman is scary.
And she used to be wasn't she married or engaged?
My governor, yeah. She was married to
I mean, what does that kind of say about Newsom?
I guess she's quite a brilliant attorney, and very well educated, and was a very successful attorney. She just doesn't use good judgment. It's probably due to too much confectionate sugar bean.
Booger sugar?
Burger sugar, yeah. For entertainment purposes only, YouTube.
Yeah, thanks.
I feel like they're rushing forward in this. I got to keep each other quiet so they can't testify against each other. It's a deal. It's a contract.
The business.
Yeah. See, I have, okay, in the center of the reading, it's the Page of Pentacles. It's like there are two kids that are that are coming together to protect their assets. There's a lot of movement towards this with the Knight of Wands. It's a lot. They're going through this quickly. They're not going to even ask questions. That's just something they're going to rush into. And it's, I also have the Hermit. So Hermit's always quiet and that contemplation and meditating. And it's a way to protect each other, because ultimately I feel like with the Ace of Pentacles, it's again, it goes back to protecting their assets. That's protecting themselves. I wonder if they're hiding.
Yeah, I got they started out with the Ten of Swords. Yeah, they're doing this for protection because they're afraid to testify each other. And I got the Two of Swords, and when I saw that card, I thought of blind justice. They're blinding justice by not having to testify to each other. And I got this, they're doing it for emotional reasons, legal reasons. Of course, Don Jr. thinks he's the king of Pentacles, but it's based on their love for each other, which is the Three of Swords.
And it's to protect their family too, because I also had the Six of Cups.
It's the Three of Swords. This is their love. It's a business contract. It is not a marriage of passion, love, etc. They're doing protect themselves legally. It's a business contract.
Well, the bottom of my deck was pretty clear with this message. I got that they're engaged now for all of the burdens that are coming their way, because they feel that the scale, the wheel is turning against them for all of their family money and all of the money that they're having. Yeah, it has to do with the New York investigation on the Trump board.
Yeah, I got the bottom underlying card on my reading. It's a Fool.
Whoops, I already shuffled. I don't remember what I
had. Shack.
You have to go back and see what I pulled. So Carrie G says, "Do they even love each other?" Maybe I feel like at one time they did.
It's a sexual attraction. But it's about the drugs and the sex and the.
But right now, I just feel like it's to protect themselves, their assets, their families, from having to be in this mess.
I don't even get that right now that they are in a really loving spot. I get that they're fighting a lot and they're both really unbalanced. There's a substance abuse issue between both of them that's leading to a lot of violence and arguing. But it is not to say that they don't have feelings for him. I think that they're both very codependent on one another. But it is more of an arrangement in a business, so that they don't have to testify. She doesn't have to testify against him because she knows a lot. That's why it's being rushed.
I got that they're working together to protect each other. She sees herself as the Queen of Wands. He sees himself as the King of Wands in the prior reading. This is to protect him against the world. And I got a yes for that. It's emotional. But the emotion isn't the emotion of love. It's a financial emotion, a sexual emotion, the drug use, the cover up, and the flow of the money that they've had come in. And it's a contract with the Two of Wands. Mm-hmm. They're doing it as a business contract to protect each other.
It's funny because I pulled on their relationship.
Swords, the Thieves in the Night.
I got the Lovers. I got the contract again. I have compromising with one another. I have making quick decisions to satisfy somebody's need, to protect somebody. I also get the Six of Pentacles. So like I said, it's a juggling act. It's like it's this contract to make sure that to protect somebody, but I don't think it's going to last long. I really don't, because I see death and fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, does she have custody of the kids that she has with the governor?
Oh, does she have kids with Newsom?
Yes, she has kids with Newsom. I think he may have custody of them, though.
Yes,
I would hope so. I don't know. I have to Google that.
So yeah, I don't. Everything is
being right. Yes,
I don't think they're going to last.
They are both known to be drug users.
Yeah, and it's not anything new or like a new habit that they developed. It was that way before Trump even ran for president.
They have the devil relationship. They got the drug, the greed, the drug, the lust, the.
I had the hangman terrified with the devil.
They're negatively bound together.
Yes.
I'm surprised not one of us pulled the devil. Actually,
I did. I didn't go through my cards, but I got the hangman clarified with the devil.
Oh,
so
I didn't do any clarification.
Negative perspective, unable to change their perspective or their ways. Addiction with the devil, fighting, very lustful relationship.
Yeah.
Yes, Gima, it's a lustful relationship.
She has a reputation for being quite sexually aggressive with co-workers and things like that through her career.
I'm saying it doesn't make your governor look very good that he had a previous relationship and was married to her, right?
I don't think so, but then he's remarried to a woman that's much more balanced.
That's good.
Yeah,
well, if I'm going to be honest, I don't know. I kind of feel like Newsom likes to take a dip in the male pond on occasions. No judgment.
I wouldn't doubt it. And
I definitely felt that about him. I mean, he's good looking though, but
he's a very handsome man. But the looks things, politicians.
What's so funny?
I just got what you were going with.
Oh.
Sometimes you kind of have to spell it out for me because I don't. It takes a minute.
All right. Hey, Sharon Sight. Vivian.
Hi, Vivian. Hi, Connie. I saw your reading from Susan the other day. I was getting some hits on that. I'll call you later about it.
She was getting hits for who?
Oh, Susan. She was on Susan Lynn's channel, and Susan had read for her online. And while I was listening to it, I was getting hits on that reading too. You know how I am. I connect.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking something out real quick. Well, I do have an announcement to make, but I think I want to wait a little bit. Maybe see if we can get some more people. I do have an exciting announcement for next week, but I will say it before we're done on this live stream. I feel like I need to wait just a little bit longer, but I'm excited.
I know what it is.
Oh, I think you both know. We talked about it. Dean read on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
I told you. Yep, all is well. Nothing's going to happen. You'll have fun.
I think so, too. I see it as I'm not nervous about it in general, like, for this collab. My thing is that I see it really growing my channel and changing a lot of stuff that I had. So it's a little bit of pressure, but
it's going to open some doors up too for you.
Oh, I agree.
I said that today.
You did.
Yeah, more than just the channel, it's going to open some.
Yeah, I feel like a lot more. Yeah, I think so too. All right, so since we're just talking about it so much, I will go ahead and say it that I have talked to Mel Dorr, and we're going to be doing a collab, and it's going to be on his channel. I think it's going to be pre-recorded, and it'll probably be on his channel either Thursday night or Friday morning. So I'm really excited for that. So
I'm so excited for that. I tried throwing you under the bus with Mel, and Mel had already called you.
I know.
And Mel goes, I've already talked to Kevin. I'm like, oh, good. Well, I was just throwing him under the bus because I just knew you guys would hit it off really well as readers.
Yeah.
So
well, we talked on the phone for over
my
an
friends
hour.
Under the bus with readers. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited. But we hit it off. We were talking on the phone for over an hour. He gave me a reading.
Readings for each other's too.
He gave me a reading. It was pretty spot on, and I threw some cards for him, and he said it really resonated with him. So I think it's going to be a fun collab, and hopefully it'll lead to more collabs in the future. And I think I see a lot of stuff happening because of that. So
and I can do a testimonial for Kevin's readings because the first time Kevin contacted me, he goes, do you mind if I do a reading for you? And he read for me, and it was the most amazing spot on reading about my mother. It was like he was sitting next to her for the last 3 months of her life. And he told me things there was absolutely no way he could have possibly known about conversations we had. Amazing reading, absolutely amazing reading. So if you are looking for a really good reader and you want a reading, do contact Kevin. He is a fantastic reader. Or you can always call me. But
I was gonna say, or Dean. Dean's awesome too.
Dean's an awesome. Are you doing private readings, Dean? Are you doing private readings?
I don't do private readings.
Oh, okay. But you're still an awesome reader.
You are an awesome reader.
But thank you, Kathy.
And Dean and I are working on another Old Star collab. Oh, yeah. So if you heard on my channel today, I was like all giddy about it. Stars, contact Dean or I with suggestions. We got an amazing hit when we were discussing it with one of the ones that we'll be doing soon, and we got permission from the person we're going to be reading. He popped in and we channeled him right there on the spot. And I know we shared it with Kevin, and we were talking about it earlier, and it was just amazing the hits we got. But and
it's so funny too, because when Dean was talking about it, he was talking in that person's voice, and before he even did that, I heard the same exact voice that Dean's starting to talk, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm not hearing stuff and making it up in my head.
And it's funny because this is a star that is not contacted for readings from other readers. So he was like, well, why do you want to talk to me?
It was so weird. I was like I said, you've been training me to like go through pictures and try to just look at somebody's pictures of that person, see if you can get imprints from them. And just there was one who was kind of looking over his shoulder, and I just heard, what do you want?
Because I've discovered that Dean has the talent of doing psychometry, where you touch an object or a photo and you can connect to the energy and read from it. And it's something I do also. So, I was telling Dean, when you need to just like print the picture out, you don't even have to look at it, just hold it and you can connect to the energy.
But see, I don't have a printer. I just look at the picture of that person, and I just look at several.
That's what helps me.
Well, I do it with objects too, and jewelry. Metal jewelry is one that when you touch metal jewelry, that's especially old jewelry that was something beloved, it's amazing what you can pick up from it if you have that gift. Like holding an old wedding ring.
Yeah, because all the energy.
The whole energy of the relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's amazing. Totally amazing.
Well, and that's what I tell people too. If you're going to do a reading with me and you want me to channel somebody that's passed or anything like that, I tell people. So, I mean, I can get stuff, but for me to be like really good on it, picture is really helpful for me. And it's just
my instructions to people. I also ask them to meditate on that person, ask them to come forward if there's somebody they want to contact with, because that way my guide will connect me with that energy of that person. And surprisingly, sometimes other loved ones come forward, maybe not the person you wanted to speak to, but somebody else has a really important message in your family that will step forward And that's happened where I've channeled multiple people in the family, not just the beloved husband or just a grandparent. Right. You know, so
usually for that kind of work, though, I need to really meditate on it beforehand, like a half an hour before the reading, and like really just focus. And then I'll start getting people, and I'll start writing it down and try to connect during our reading.
Yeah, I always do a concentrated meditation before I do personal readings.
It was crazy because I really, like I said, when I was looking at those pictures, I was like, I wasn't prepared for him just to like pop up like that. He popped up really quickly for me, and I was like, oh shit, you're here now. He's the type of person you have to be prepared for, because he doesn't like somebody wasting his time. But very, very polite, very gentleman, very private.
Should we tell them who it is that we're going to read on?
I've already said it on my channel, so
yeah.
Okay, it was Alfred Hitchcock. Okay, and I think it was Alfred Hitchcock. Why? That's like just an amazing person.
Yeah,
and when I was,
we're big fans of his movies and.
Yeah, very kind of eccentric kind of energy, isn't it?
Very eccentric and very very quiet introvert type of a man. And he was like, well, why are you contacting me? It was just really funny.
And then he was intrigued why.
Yeah, and he was totally intrigued with our abilities to hear him, and that just fascinated him. It was like he hadn't even thought about that. It's not a realm he dabbled in his lifetime, which it's sort of funny because, you know, he came up in an era that that mediumships and stuff like that practices were quite,
all the seances,
were quite prevalent, but it was not something he was involved with. So.
Well, you know what, Cassie, I want to say thank you for that compliment on me reading your mom, because for me, I know that everybody tells me that I am a medium, but for me it's kind of weird because my channeling gifts really started to develop when I did my Reiki attunement for my channeling. And so for me to even label myself as a medium just feels really weird. Not that I can make connections and stuff like that, but even psychic for the longest time, kind of, I didn't care for that label either. So, but so it's still pretty new to me for channeling and doing mediumship, and
for those,
so I'm always so amazed by like the information that I get and the you know, what people tell me after I do readings for them. So thank you for that.
For anybody in the room that doesn't know what the difference between a psychic and a medium is, a person that's psychic is using their intuitive abilities, that gut feeling, that inner knowing, and everybody has that ability. The difference between that and a medium is a medium talks directly to spirit, to somebody that has crossed over. We also can see ghosts. Many of us can. It depends on what your abilities are. There's different levels of mediumship. All mediums and psychics are empathic by nature, some more so than other. Kevin's an extreme empath. He picks up on all the little idiosyncrasies of emotion.
Yeah,
I put a shield up because I'm a Pisces, and I absorb my environment, and it affects me emotionally. So I keep a shield up a lot of times because I absorb, and especially if I'm in a negative environment, I will become depressed being around.
I agree with you on that. And when you told me to put up my protective shields and stuff like that, I was like, what the hell is that? And with me, especially when it goes full moon, and my kids go crazy, and then I feel all of that energy, and it makes me go crazy.
Are you guys okay to man the fort for just a minute or two? I'll be right back.
Oh, sure.
I'm sure you're comfortable.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hold it.
Yeah. So being me, and no, Kathy's going to laugh and poke jabs at me. Being as a Cancer, we're ruled by the moon, and we get all of those weird hits. When there's a shift in the air, we feel that. And it's very, very hard to just put a pin in it and just kind of separate yourself from that energy.
Yeah.
And when you're working with younger people, they don't know, they don't have the ability
to control their emotions.
Their emotions in check.
Yeah.
So when they go back, I'll just say this: people in general go batshit crazy during full moons. And shoot, I mean, you even see the cockroaches. They mate during the full moons. I used to see it. They go crazy during full moons.
Yeah, I think Jill Clark and I have opposite signs. I'm a Pisces sun, Virgo moon. If I remember right, Jill's a Virgo with a Pisces moon. We have so we pull the same type of energies, but in reverse.
And like Kathy was saying too about the medium stuff, it doesn't always. Not every medium's gonna pick up on every little person that people want them to. It doesn't work that way. At least I haven't known it to work that way. Because for me, if that spirit makes themselves known, that's how they come to me. And they may show me images, or I might say shadows, or I'm just feeling cold, but I always feel like some type of energy is around me. I may not always see the shadow, but I always feel something is around me. You feel that presence. If you know, like somebody you feel like that's physically in a room, you can feel their energy being next to you. It's that same feeling, but nobody's there.
In the last 7 years since I've retired, I've done a lot of work on my mediumship and increasing my abilities and taking coursework and really tuning into my meditations. I'm a fanatic meditator now, and I have abilities now that I didn't have all my life because I've opened up to it. So, like channeling and things like that, it just automatically turns on now, and I have to sometimes put up my guards, and that's why I have so many problems reading the chat. It's not only a visual problem, but when I'm reading, even on my live streams, if I go into step into any channeling, I can't read because the words, I see the letters, but I can't make language out of it. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but I cannot actually read. It looks like I'm looking at Chinese writing or something. I can't actually read it until I'm grounded back on this side of the veil. And I've been amazed because I work really closely with my guides, and I've gone from just getting imaging from my guides to being able to actually have literal conversations with them. But it's taken a couple of years to develop that. I worked closely with Debbie and with Karen. When they mentored me quite a bit when I first started really diving in deep and working on this. And I've taken coursework with them. And if you are developing your skills, I highly recommend taking some courses, some classes, because that practice and getting together with other psychics, it raises your vibration. And I mentor Dean. I've been working a lot with Dean lately.
There's somebody beside me right now. That's probably my
grandmother. Yeah,
it's one of the two of them.
It's your grandmother.
Sorry, it works.
No, I can actually see his spirit, his guides, and his family members that come in and out. He'll call me and say, "There's somebody in my hallway." It's your grandfather.
It's funny because I don't always know who it is.
Feels the energy.
I feel energy, and I feel like when you like feel like somebody's staring at you. It's a very uncomfortable feeling, and when you can't associate who it is, it's like, go away.
Right.
But I have a feeling that by this time next year, I'll probably be seeing some shit.
Yeah,
fully seeing some shit.
Oh yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
I keep on telling you that the shadows that you see and stuff will become clearer and clearer.
Yeah, I definitely agree, Kathy. I think if anybody's interested in developing, I think there's a lot of people in the community, readers, that are offering really good classes. I also think, though, it's really important to do your own personal work too. Yeah. Like for me, I've never taken any classes like that. I've kind of developed it on my own with my own, like working through some of my stuff and really working on raising my vibrations. I think that's key, especially for channeling your guides and getting messages.
We get together as groups behind the scene and do readings together and read for each other too. And that really is great with skill building. And like I said, if anybody ever wants to reach out to me and wants to talk to me about their gifts and their opening up, I'll be happy to work with you. I don't charge anything. It's an honor to work with people. I really enjoy it. So
I'll never forget the time I was talking to you about
so much from other people too. I mean, it's a give and take.
Like I was always feeling. I remember I told you, like, I don't know why. I always feel like I'm being choked, like I'm suffocating. Why am I always suffocating? Carl, you're channeling and not even realizing you're channeling. I'm like, but who the hell am I channeling?
Well, like you were spot on with that one reading.
Chakra.
Oh yeah,
feeling being choked.
Yeah. I don't always understand. See, this is what there's some misconceptions. I don't always understand why I'm feeling a certain way, or why I always see certain specks of people. Because when I always try to clarify with people too, it's like, did they look like this? Did they look like that? And I might get one or two elements. Because remember, you have to understand, your mind fills in the blanks to make sense of it, and sometimes that spirit feels comfortable probably showing themselves as they were in a different incantation or different life.
There's so many different senses that you can pick up on too. You can see things, they can show you stuff. You can hear them talking sometimes. Sometimes you can smell if somebody has a strong perfume or is a cigarette smoker. You can taste some things sometimes. You can feel, so when you feel like there's something being choked, I mean, there's different senses that you can use to pick up stuff.
My husband will walk in the house and he'll say, "Was somebody in here smoking a pipe?" And I'll say, "Oh, my dad was visiting me." because my dad was a pipe smoker and a very distinctive smell of the tobacco. In fact, I have his last bag of tobacco. I opened the jar up and asked my husband, "Is this what you're smelling?" He goes, "Yeah, it's exactly what I'm smelling."
Yeah. And the other time too, when I was even on Ron's channel, there was somebody who died in a car crash. I don't know how I pulled him in on my side. I don't know how he came.
Oh yeah, you and I crossed that one over.
Like he came into that energy came to me, and then I was like, because I didn't ask Ron, because I knew that wasn't his skill set, but I did ask Kathleen, the other Kathleen, that like, who the hell is this behind me? Because they're trying to make their presence known, and I don't understand what they're wanting. And it went back to when she started talking about it was an older version of the guy that we originally were reading on, and it's weird. Sometimes I don't understand why I'm getting these hits. I just roll with it. And one time I was working with you, and I was like feeling really weird, and you're like, well, you have a lot of negative, you have some energy around you need to clear your house.
Yeah we've talked a lot about grounding and cleansing, and I've got a whole program that I did automatic writing for. This is part of it, and cleansing is part of it, but it got cut off in my system, and I need to sit down and redo it. On working through some of those techniques, and those I need to start getting together, because my guides constantly are bugging me about it, and get those out to people, talking about mediumships and the different types of abilities people have, and then different methods of cleansing your home, and some of the tricks. And
I love sage. Sage works.
I've worked with, and see, I'm allergic to desert sage because I'm allergic to the high desert, and I do burn sage periodically, but I have to be really careful with it because it can set off my asthma. But I use Palo Santo.
I like that,
and I absolutely love that. I love the smell of it, and it's sort of got it's a sweet smell, and it's just beautiful. I love the way they harvest it. If you're getting Palo Santo, they do not cut the trees down. They only harvest it from trees that have died naturally and have fallen. They mark the trees and they let them dry for 8 years on the forest floor before they harvest them. And it's a whole. They grow in southern Mexico and in Brazil, and it's it's culturally harvested, and it's traditionally harvested. It's illegal to actually cut the trees down and harvest them that way. So it's done in a very religious. It's used in the Catholic churches in that part of the world, as part of the cleansing. You know, in the what do they call that? The incense, you know, where they cleanse the church. They go through. They use Palo Santo in South America. It is a form of cleansing where like frankincense and stuff like that are used more in Germany and in the European nations, because it's highly abundant. But I not only did I channel those cleansing processes, but then I did some research on the history of them. And that's really the part that intrigued me, was where did these rituals come
really cool.
And so I need to rewrite that and get that back out, because it's really interesting to me, and I think it'd be interesting to the viewers to know where some of these rituals come from, because they have a lot of religious and medical bases, and they date back centuries. It's not something that it was made up in the 60s. These things have been around for hundreds and thousands of years. And have been used.
A lot of ancient wisdom associated with
a lot of ancient. And frankincense is really interesting when I did the research on that, because it is used medically. It's used as an incense. It's healing.
Yes, it can be, Jima.
Yeah. Didn't you say that I think I was talking to you about frankincense. Didn't you say it was for death rituals? Like,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. It's also
used as medication. It is still used in medication.
I like it. It helps awaken my senses too sometimes.
Somebody was telling me, it was snow
essential oil.
Frankincense oil, to put it on the bed of your feet to calm you and ground you.
Oh, nice.
That's what I do with the frankincense. Yeah. This is a brand I use.
But you don't want to use it pure. You want to use it. You need to cut it with essential oils, with your appropriate oils, because it can be very toxic. It is a medicine.
Good night, Chris. Lauren said that she finds all this so interesting, and that was part of the reason why I was thinking, well, let's hang out. We can talk. We can answer some questions, and I enjoy talking with both of you.
Yeah, I love doing the spirituality questions and topics when they come up. We did a show not too long ago that was all the questions that came that day were all spiritually based questions, and it ended up being really an interesting show.
Yeah, I was on Allie's channel, and we ended up talking a lot about spiritual questions. And
she's very knowledgeable.
Yeah, well, yeah, and we were both like, it was a good program. I was really happy with that. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of my whole idea. We could hang out, and I see some more people joining. Hello, everybody. Tracy.
Another person we've done spiritual discussions with, and discussions on different reading techniques and stuff like that is Shar from Charlie's Angels.
I love working with her.
She is just a vast bundle of knowledge, and really fun to work with. Yeah, you're doing the opposition deck with her.
And
I want that deck so bad.
Yeah, I'm actually.
It's not that expensive.
They were out of stock for a while. I don't know.
Really,
I will check like I said, I'm going to go to my crystal store tomorrow, and I will see if they have any decks, and I'll pick you one up.
Yeah, let me know, and I'll PayPal you for it. I would appreciate that.
So,
I did see a question up here, but you go ahead, Dean. I'm going to post it, but
so with Shar from Charlie's Angels, I've already filmed. We're working on the deck. It's posted on her channel. We've gone through the major arcana, how to interpret it, or how we interpret things, because different readers read things a little bit differently or feel things off of cards differently. We went through the major arcana. We went through the pentacles. And I think we went through the swords. So we still only have 2 more to do, the cups and the wands. So I'm not trying to use this deck because it's all sectioned out. So I don't want to have to read it all. Separate everything.
Right. You know, it's so interesting too, because I'm seeing some people that obviously I see a lot of on other people's channels that I knew were subscribed to me, but because of the time slot I normally go live, I don't think everybody's normally available. So, like T-Barb, I don't think I see on too much, but hello and welcome. And I did share this already to some people, but I have an exciting announcement. This coming week, I'm going to be doing a collab with Mel Dorr on his channel that I'm really excited about. And hopefully, I'm sure it will go well. Me and him talked for over an hour, and it was fun. But hopefully it can turn into like a weekly or like a monthly reading collab. I would enjoy that. Oh, nice, T-Barb. Yeah, we're kind of all just hanging out tonight and talking metaphysical topics, spiritual topics. We can go through some questions. I don't think we're going to be doing too many questions, but because we're enjoying an adult beverage, so I probably won't be doing too much. Yes, Caroline, I'm off work all week. I'm pretty sure I had COVID, so I'm feeling a lot better now, though.
They have been stuck on Amazon. I sent you the link.
Oh, okay.
The opposition deck.
Thank you.
That's what I said. I think they had them on Amazon.
It was out of stock for a while.
Yeah, they're back in stock, though.
Okay, because I was going to order off of Amazon because I don't remember. It was one of the readers said that you would love this deck, Dean. I was like, okay. So I was this close of ordering it on my Amazon, but then when I went to the store, I was like, you know what? It's the same price here, really. I might as well get here.
Support a local business too.
And that business pays you every time you get up to 200 credits, you get a $20 gift card. So I'm like, I'm like, it paid. It was beneficial for me to get it there, and then I didn't have to wait a week to get.
Yeah, I don't have a really good. There's 2 stores in Visalia, but neither of them carry a lot of tarot. And
no, Tracy, that's not
they mark them way they're marking them up like 10 or $15 a box. So
at your local store?
Yeah. And they didn't have anything I couldn't get, on Amazon. They didn't have any of the unusual decks, more like what they carry on Etsy.
The deck I want to get 2. I want to get the Disney's Alice in Wonderland tarot deck.
I had that on back order and I canceled it finally because it kept on delaying it. Now it's out and it's available.
And
it was the Wicked deck of the evil characters.
Disney characters?
Yeah.
Yeah, the villains.
I've seen that one. Yeah, Disney villains.
I wanted to get those.
Yeah, I had pre-ordered that and I finally canceled it because it kept on delaying it.
What was the other deck you were wanting to get, Dean?
It was the Alice in Wonderland deck and the Disney's Alice in Wonderland deck and the Disney's villains. Because I do have an Alice in Wonderland deck.
Yeah,
but it's the Dame Darcy's version, which if you are on Maya's channel, she loves this artist, Dame Darcy. She has a lot of cat themed Dame Darcy. Yeah. And I was like looking at that one day, I was like, that artwork looks very familiar. And it was the same one. So I love this deck. And the reason why I got the Alice in Wonderland because it's kind of a little bit darker, so you can kind of roll with it that way.
Yeah, this one I get really unusual readings with because the cards read so differently. I haven't used it in quite a while. I should bring it back out.
But you kind of have that fantasy element with Alice in Wonderland too. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's
whimsical, kind of.
It's whimsical. I mean, if there's something that's like a mystery that involves like families or children, that is a good deck to work with.
Absolutely beautiful book, and it has a story. Oh, yeah. It tells a story on all the cards, but it reads like a story.
And that's so interesting too, because especially with like the major arcana with tarot, it reads as a story if you go from the Fool all the way to I don't remember the last one off the top of my head, but the World.
But this pulls in the story of with the literature version of Alice in Wonderland and integrates it into the story of the cards. And the book is, I mean, it's just got this beautifully illustrated book with it. This is the Barbara Moore version, and it's, you know, the artwork is, yeah.
That kind of reminds me of the artwork.
Really beautiful.
Yeah, it's cool.
And
well, do we want to answer a question real quick? I haven't seen any other ones, but this one I think would be a really quick one. But Carrie G asked, how will 45 feel about Biden calling him out in his speech? I can tell you he wasn't very happy, and I've already read on this. What I saw is him, he was pissed and was literally taking stuff and throwing them against the wall. Like, I saw him take a vase and throw it against the wall, and it shattered everywhere. He was not happy.
He actually,
destroying your hotel room like Hillary did when she lost it.
He submitted in writing, but you know, he's now blaming, it's the Democrats that are causing the division in the country. And you know how Trump is. He wants to turn everything around and blame everybody else because he takes no responsibility. Everything bad that happens to Trump is somebody else's fault.
Right.
And so, you know, the Democrats are causing the world division now and the division in the country, and they're really propagating this according to Trump. And yeah, and I could just see him throwing temper tantrums and destroying the table and breaking things. And yeah, he tantrums. Yeah, he
when I saw that question, I was like, he's pissed. That's all.
Right. I said it would be a quick question to do.
Yeah.
I could visually see him just stomping and raging. And
yes, Tracy, that's right.
Yeah.
Everybody's loving your prediction video, Kathy. You got a shout out from Carrie and who else? Crafty Lady, so that they both loved your prediction.
Thank you. I was going to write a letter to Susan Lynn because I watched her. She did some predictions the other night, and I was like, yes. It was like she was
on some of your stuff.
And I know she had not watched my video.
Right.
And I'm going to send her a link on my video, and I really would like to collab with her and Jen and Jen's World.
That'd be a fun
really would like to work with both of them. And I've actually read on the channel, and my guide and her guide connected, and I know why Jen laughs all the time and has such a great sense of humor, because her guide is absolutely hilarious and is a jokester.
I can definitely see
her
that.
energy is fantastic.
Yeah, and her laugh is so
special.
Her laugh is so contagious.
Contagious.
And it's beautiful. Yeah,
beautiful. And she just has a beautiful spirit, beautiful energy. And I was so tickled to be on the show with her on Sheila's 1-year anniversary show. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to.
She's just a beautiful person. I mean, we have a beautiful
community. And I had to miss it.
Yeah.
You gotta be on top of that email. You don't get emails sent to your phone, Dean?
I do, but I don't. I have that notification turned off because it will be ringing all day long. But
you gotta keep up with it.
Well,
I'm still on vacation mode.
Right. That's fair.
He's at work.
Yeah.
Did you feel an earthquake today, Kathy?
No, I did.
Carolyn asked. She said, "Did you feel the earthquake?"
I live in Central California, so we don't film here.
In Temecula? I've never heard of. I probably didn't.
Temecula. If I was in LA, I would have felt it.
Oh, yeah, you're more
very sensitive to him when I live near him, but no. I'm in Tulare, which is 50 miles north of Bakersfield. And the only time we film is the one that we had out in the Mojave Desert that I'm predicting going off again. That will be felt in the Mojave area, up in Victorville, Apple Valley, and all that. We'll feel it. Nevada will feel it. Bakersfield up to Fresno will feel that when it goes off, and that's going to be probably in the next 6 months. But mostly earthquake. California has earthquakes on a regular basis, daily. Most of them are 2s and 3s. A lot of them are in Northern California, up where, up in the area on the northern coastline, and up over by Linda G. They have quite a few up in that area.
She's up by San Francisco, isn't she?
Yeah, she's up by San Francisco. She's just outside of San Francisco, up by Santa Rosa,
like Napa and stuff.
Santa Rosa.
Oh yeah.
Area. Yeah.
T-Barb says
I know really well. because we used to spend a lot of time up in Santa Rosa Mountains with my father.
Yeah. T-Barb says that she hasn't met Dean, that she was pleased to meet him tonight. I'll stay with that. If you're not subscribed already, please go over to Kathy's channel, please. Kathy's Guided Light Tarot, and Dean's channel is called The Hermit's Corner. Please go over there and subscribe and support their channel as well. They're wonderful readers, and we read together a lot. So,
Dean and Kevin and Sharon Lee and I do a Sunday program at 1:30 on my channel every Sunday, and we do personal readings. We try to stay away from political. We do spiritual and personal readings. So come join us. It's a lot of fun, and we run usually around 2 hours.
What I can make it. It's kind of like
Kevin works really long hours on the weekends, so sometimes he's just exhausted, and we have to respect that.
Well, not even just that too. My husband works a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. I work kind of the opposite schedule, so it's kind of hard to make time too. So if there's something that he wants to do, I can't really say no.
And my cancer both feel like they get
watch it.
We didn't say anything about you.
Hey, now everybody knows that Dean's the Cancer.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah, they get a little neglected when we spend too much time online. They don't get some attention. Everybody saw my husband come in and throw a shit fit about dinner the other night. He thought I was just chatting with you guys online. He didn't realize we were live. And
I love it when your husband his cage gets rattled so easily, and then he just speaks his mind. I was like,
he pulled up. I had dinner ready. I made dinner and everything, and it was all on the stove. All he had to do was make a plate. He pulled up and went to bed without making a single plate.
Are you ready for it?
I got off to make him a plate. Kevin told me I would have checked the plate out. I said,
I think you heard my cancer come out last night because we were in a chat last night. You heard my cancer come out real quick.
I didn't nail him until the next day because when he's tired, he's non-confrontational. So if I start fighting with him, he'll just roll over and go to sleep, and it'll be over. No fight. No
I told Kathy,
there's no fun to fight by yourself.
I told Kathy if my husband ever did that while I was live, I would wait till afterwards and we would get into it. But if it was about getting him a plate of food that was already made,
I love this. He told me this.
He would be wearing the plate.
Yeah.
He'd be wearing I think you said he'd be wearing the fucking plate. Honestly.
I think I might have put enough on.
But I ripped him the next morning when he was good and awake and he was getting ready to leave, and I sit there and chewed him out outside.
But you have to understand, cancer men, they love to be pampered. They love to be loved.
They really do. And honestly, if you read up on cancer men, they think when they're married, they think they've married their mother. They want to be taken care of. They want their laundry done and their dinner on the table. And I swear, I can't sleep sometimes, and I get up and go sleep on the couch. My husband gets up mad. Because as far as he's concerned, I should be in his bed. Not in.
Yeah, same.
That was with me too when I was married.
When he goes to bed, I should be in bed with him if I'm sleeping or not.
Mm-hmm. My husband gets pissy about that sometimes too.
Yeah.
When I was married, I had to have my significant other next to me. It's like bedtime was whenever I said it was ready, felt it was ready to go to bed.
Yeah, well, my husband.
I don't care, but
it's like a Leo characteristic. It's not all about you. It's all about me.
All about you.
And I'm the type of person, I think this is a cancer thing too. They love to be coddled. They like to be embraced. They like that closest that I feel like we like that. We need that.
It takes them forever to commit to a relationship. And when they do, they are in love with that person. They are committed. It's a done deal.
And I think it shocked you that I married at 27. You're like,
I was really shocked. Wow, you were really young for a Cancerian to marry, because most Cancer men don't marry until they're well over 30, usually. Usually closer to 40 or 50, and they tend to be fathers very late in life too. And they'll marry a younger woman, but they will Yeah, they're really long. You know, my husband was 52 when I married him, and I am his only wife. I was literally, you know, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't play that shit. I will go full on Medea and start playing Britball with somebody. You'll be wearing some hot
as straightforward and outspoken as I am, and I am a very outspoken person. I do take
and I think you two told me before.
I should, and I pamper him a little too frequently. And you know, I tell him, you know, when I'm sick, you don't come bringing me a plate of food, or you know, where's the return? You know,
the reciprocation. I feel it.
No, it's crazy because I didn't think you two realized I was a Cancer, because you say both of you were telling me like you don't have that as traits.
You don't run on the same. We can almost set our watch to the moods of our husbands by each other's husband, because they swing in the same tide.
Not always. I can't really complain too bad, but I do.
Mine's
been
really
moments, but I definitely have my own too. I mean, and it takes a while for me to get really pissed off because I internalize it. But
yeah,
hey, I'm a Leo. It's not. I'm an evolved Leo. I'm an evolved Leo.
Oh, here we go.
I've got better with them. Although I will take all of the compliments everybody wants to give.
See, that was the issue with my ex-wife. Everything had to be all about her because she was a Leo. It was her world. I'm like, it's not always about you. Sometimes you can be let somebody else be selfish. It can be about them.
See, I never see.
You can go bash Leos on other people's channels.
I'm sure Kevin has a selfish
not mine
about him, but he doesn't present it to the whole world. He made to his husband, but it's not something he puts out to the world.
But I was kind of embarrassed in front of you two last night when I lost my mind.
But I've gotten a lot better with it.
Because I was like,
see, it would be more in your relationship than in your friendships.
Yeah, for sure.
I was embarrassed because last night when we were on just talking after the show, I feel like he saw my Cancer come out. Like I was like, you're not going to sit there and talk to me like that,
right?
I'm trying.
But I am a Leo sun with a Scorpio moon and a Sag rising, so I am very stubborn. If you cross me wrong, I hold a grudge. I try not to. I've gotten better with it. And the Sag rising in me, if I see anything that doesn't make sense to me, or you know, it just makes no sense, or I keep shit real and I don't sugarcoat stuff, which I think people can appreciate, but some people want you to tell them what they want to hear, and I'm not that reader for you.
Yeah, we've even said that openly in for readings.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, if you're fishing for a specific reading and you keep asking the same question again and again, no, we're not going to read on it again because we've already read on it and it's not going to change. We actually had somebody come into the room, ask a question, then come back in the room under a different name and ask the same question.
I remember that.
And I threw the cards and got exactly the same thing. And I knew, I grabbed my pencil and I'm like, this is the same person, isn't it? And I got a big yes. I just kept that to myself and reread it, you know, because I got exactly the same reading both times. And
yes, that's Scorpio. Sorry, keep it real.
Keep it real. And, you know, if you're going to ask the same question, you know, and
yeah,
you got to.
I just now noticed
a little bit, you know,
that all of our signs mesh well because you have the water Scorpio. I'm the Cancer. With me, my rising is in Taurus. I've always had a lot of Taurus energy around me.
And I'm a Virgo.
My sun is
in grounded energy.
And then I have the steam because I have my sun signs in Cancer, which is water, and then my moon is in Sag. So that's the fire. So I'm grounded in steam.
Well, you keep shit real too.
Well, if you've noticed, a lot of times with the people that are asking the same shit over, I'm sorry, people, but it's real here. When you ask the same, like they were saying, if you ask the same question over and over, and my answer does not change, like I'm not reading on this because I'm not reading on other people's energy. I'm not reading on other people's medical stuff or on children or anything in between. and then you keep coming back and ask, will FloJo marry me? Or will FloJo make a commitment to me? I don't know. Ask FloJo. I mean, seriously, my answer is not going to change. If you have that type of relationship question, you need to have that open communication. You don't have to wait for somebody to make that move. Be bold and make that move yourself. Then, of course, you will get your answer right away. And if you're asking stuff like that, then obviously you already know that you have your answer already.
That's what I tell people too. Like sometimes people ask stuff in a way, and it's like you already know that the answer to your question. You're already answering it. You just have to change your perspective on how you're viewing things.
You have to listen to your inner gut. You know, as you ask your question, when you're answering it, you're not listening to your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because I was asked by Scott once, what is my pet peeve question? My pet peeve question is, I've been on an on-again, off-again relationship, and will we get back together? And my guys have a hilarious sense of humor because I hear the Gingerbread Man song. When the relationship is over or fatal and needs to be over, is I hear them singing, run, run as fast as you can't catch me, I'm the Gingerbread Man. And I have actually burst out in laughter hearing that in my head when I read that question. And then I'm like trying not to laugh at the person when I read their question, but they're not hearing what I'm hearing in my head. And
Miley's favorite question.
Run. There is something better out there for you.
Right.
And then, then I get this reading of, oh, you're going to meet this wonderful person at some point. But yeah, this is not a good relationship. And it's funny because a lot of times those are they're with a dog, somebody that's cheating on them. They're not the only person this guy is seeing usually. It's, he's out there working the field, and that's what the on and off is all about,
Miley's favorite question is when somebody asks, this happens all the time, especially on Dean's channel, and it really irritates me. What does blank think of me? Does blank think of me?
That's another love question. And it's like, ask them.
Right.
Yeah.
If you have to ask something to get clarity on that, you already know the answer to it. Yeah, I mean, you just have to think about it.
Honestly, if you want a good working relationship, communication is the key to any relationship. If you cannot communicate with your partner and tell each other how you feel, what you want, talk about where your relationship's going, talk about your sexuality together, plan life together, talk about your dreams. If you cannot communicate with each other, once the lust is gone, once the sex is over, because that dies in relationships over time. Every one of us can attest to that.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's not going to be hot sex after the first couple of years. What do you have left? If all you had was sex, sex was what your relationship was based on, and you're not communicating with each other, the relationship's dead.
I'm putting another one message to you guys to check out, just between us.
Okay, so I have another question that I can't stand.
Yes.
Will I find a good job? What are my comeback is to people that ask me that? What are you doing and preparing to get that new job? Are you taking classes? Are you getting your resume together? What makes you think that because you want that job, you're going to, I mean, if you're not going to, I say this, Mother Nature needs a helping hand. She has a lot of work to do. She don't have time to wait on you. And if you're not meditating on it, if you're not putting that work into it, nothing's ever going to happen. So stop asking that question. If you haven't,
and if you want to advance in your career, take a few extra classes, work on increasing your degree, getting more training into a field that you're wanting to work in. When you apply yourself and you take those extra courseworks, you don't have to get a master's degree but if you're working towards building your skill set for your career, it's going to help you advance. If your employer offers training and you're not raising your hand every time they're offering free training and they're looking for warm bodies to fill those seats, you're killing your own career.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I was offered training, I took it. Anytime I was offered to work on review panels or analysis groups or anything like that, I took advantage of that. Those are career building opportunities. And if you work on those committees and you're invited into those committees and they like the work you do, you get recognized for it. And you get job offers before they put them on the street.
You got to put in the work.
You put in the work, you show you have the skills, you show those leadership skills, those communication skills, those whatever you're doing as a professional. You take those extra steps and you will be recognized by your management teams. You might be sort of tipped from your peers because they get jealous. I've had a lot of that happen to me because I've taken a lot of opportunities when opportunities arise, but I wasn't trying to climb. I was just interested in what was going on, got involved, and it opened doors for me.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
I agree with T-Barb. That's frustrating to me when you see the same person go on everybody's channel and ask the same question. It's like, you know, there's other people that need questions done too. I just think that that's kind of selfish, and they always get the same answer usually too.
And what some people don't realize is a lot of us readers are all friends, and we actually talk to each other.
And we watch other people's channels.
And we watch each other's channels. So even if you don't see us in the chat, we may be lurking in the background.
I mean,
we don't always chat.
See that? I mean, that kind of bothers me. But then I also think each reader picks up on different things.
Yeah, that's
flattered. I'm flattered.
So I see it both ways in a way to gain some type of clarity. But my other pet peeve too is when people come into your channel and being disrespectful to the reader and the guests or whoever.
I don't tolerate that.
It's like, I'm one person. I'm sorry if I didn't say hi to everybody that came in. I try my best to get to everybody and not skip over questions. But then I also refer to other readers that are going on in the next show. It's like I'm not even asking for money when I could be paid to do this.
Right.
And Tracy makes a good point too. She says, the truth is everybody always knows the answer to their questions, including me. Just looking for reassurance, and that is fine. I don't have an issue with that at all.
And I don't have an issue with you going to another reading and asking the question again, but don't go to 10 different readers, you know, all reading a Saturday program and ask the question 10 times.
Well, right. But I feel like too, like ask a different question, or you know,
I'm thrilled to death when you ask me the question and Linda G reads on it and she gets the same thing. That tickles me to death, you know, because it's a confirmation of my reading. But we're not always 100%. We're interpreting messages as we receive them from spirit. So if we misinterpret the message or we get something a little different, we may get it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
We can wish for things, yeah. But we have to put the hard work in. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
and that goes back to what I said earlier. Yeah. And then my other question is too, with some general themes that come around. Why do these bad things or awful things happen to me, and why does this person get advanced? Or does
you're constantly talking about it? You're reaffirming it
because you are engaging and manifesting.
In the
I heard somebody speak on this once. It's because you are allowing that stuff. You are manifesting all that negativity to come into you. You have to be the creator of your own self-worth. If you feel like you're not worthy of something, then you're going to get the shitty jobs. You're going to get the shitty relationships. You have to, I've said this on my channel too, you have to fake it until you make it. You have to believe the highest about yourself. You need to, if it takes going into the mirror and say, I love you, I like you, you are damn awesome today, you look great today. At least you're telling yourself that. If you can't believe it yourself, it may be ridiculous, but you have to believe your silliness and boost yourself up, or else how the hell is anybody else going to believe it in you? So,
I agree to a degree, but I don't agree with making
you believe you're worth to 65,000 a year. Write it down. Write a check to yourself as your annual salary. You know, put it out there in the universe. This is what I'm worth. And
I mean, that was probably not the best terminology thing to make it, but
I agree with what you're saying. But my thing is, what it is, it's your attitude that you put out there. If you're operating in a low vibration and you have a shitty attitude and you're just like, woe is me, pity party for myself, you're attracting that same kind of energy that you're putting out there. It's really about changing your perspective and changing your attitude, getting out of that ego, and just being positive and happy and loving, and having gratitude for everything that everything that comes along your path. And when you're in that kind of state, all the great things with manifesting, you're on that same vibrational level to manifest, and everything that's good will come around to you.
If you just say, I want a man, oh, you'll get one.
Yeah, maybe that one.
With a whole baggage of lessons. If you say, I want a man that is financially stable and has a great sense of humor, and this is my checklist for my husband, had a great sense of humor, is we love to do the same things, the same type of things. We have a lot of interests in common, but yet we allow each other to have our individuality too. My husband and I have this relationship. Although he's grumpy at home with back injury, but that's going to pass.
Yeah.
He's getting better every day. He's getting one tantrum a week now.
Oh, that's good for cancer.
Yeah, it's good for cancer. I told him if I wanted to be married to Trump, it got so bad because he was in so much pain. If I want to be married to Trump, I want to marry to Trump. So quit throwing temper tantrums like a baby. But yeah.
My other thing was too, when people like, well, this person come back into my life, and that you have to do that work, and you have to understand too that sometimes people are only in your life for a season, that teaching moment. Don't quit. Don't continue to try to find that same person. Let it go. It's okay to let it go.
And if you're feeling obsessive about that person, ask yourself why. Are they actually meeting a need, or you're just not wanting to let go and move on? What's causing you to feel obsessive about somebody? Because I've seen many women just not being able to let go because he's moved on, and well, men do it too. I mean, it's not just women. I've seen men do it too. But
the thing is, some people just can't be alone, and that's what it is. You can't love somebody else until they love you.
Yeah, you can't make somebody love you either.
Yeah,
it's there, it's not.
Well, and right, and I mean, some people just need to be loved, and they need somebody to be with, and you should take that time that you should be single to really work on yourself and through some of your issues, and really learn to love yourself. And once you do that, you'll be amazed by what a wonderful relationship will pop into your life.
And anytime you're in a relationship, the first thing you could say is, what did I learn from this relationship?
Right.
Good and bad, because there is good and bad. And even marriage is not, that fallacy of I'm going to get married and live happily ever after and everything's going to be bringing up roses. Marriage is work.
Yeah,
it's ups and downs. It's trials and tributes. It's financial lows, financial highs. It's a package deal. If people think that you get the ring and you buy the mansion, you're fooling yourself. It doesn't work that way. It takes two people to make a relationship work. It takes two people to destroy a relationship. And if you're on and off again, why do you keep going back? What are you achieving when you go back? Is it just the same old thing repeating itself? Or are you just recycling the same negative relationship? Is it a user situation? You need to ask yourself why. Why do you keep repeating that? Life has patterns. Are you repeating these patterns over and over again? Or are you learning from the patterns and moving forward?
Right.
And, sometimes we need to stop and assess where we came from, where we've been, and where we're going. And what do I need to release that I'm carrying on and holding on to that's no longer serving me? Because if you're repeating negative things in your life, you're not doing the work to release things that aren't serving you any longer.
Right. I don't know if I totally agree with that, Apsy. It says he Aspie Third Eye saying some of us are designed to be single and happily so. I mean,
I think there are people that are happy single.
I think I read it a little bit wrong because I feel like I was thinking isolated. But what I'm feeling, it's like you still need that human interaction. You can't remove that because we're not designed to be by ourselves.
Oh, I don't think single people necessarily don't have human interactions. They don't want that. They don't want marriage.
They don't want the codependence
commitment. They don't want that social commitment.
They want to.
They have relationships and things like that.
And I think I get where you're coming at, T-Barb, and I'm currently in that kind of phase right now. I got out of a really chaotic relationship. The divorce was even uglier. And it's been, I think, almost 7 years now. Yeah. I have not been in a relationship for 7 years. And I was happy with that. I was happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Now you're at the point that you healed a lot of that energy and you're sort of looking forward to meeting somebody.
I'll say with T-Barb's comment, I agree 100%. And for me, it took me a long time, especially in my early adult years, to get to that point because I was so kind of desperate and wanting to feel love that I didn't feel in my childhood. So I was kind of desperate for that relationship. And for me, what really helped with that is actually when I got my dog because I had some kind of companionship there. And so then being in a relationship wasn't so important to me. And once I stopped being like in that state of mind of like needing a relationship, feeling kind of desperate, and I wasn't looking for love is when love came knocking for me and I met my husband. So.
I had literally given up. I just said, "Oh, I've had it. I'm not doing this anymore." I had a bad breakup, and I quit looking. And the minute I quit looking, my husband walked through the door.
Yeah,
I hadn't been looking. I gave up on it. It's like, who needs this shit? And I was done with it. And I'm still single 7 years later.
It's funny too because my husband's business partner and I have been friends for years, and I didn't know him. And we met. I met him through his business partner.
Right.
But I was friends with his business partner for like 5 or 6 years and had never met him. And it was weird, so you never know, how you're going to meet that next person. And my husband was very afraid
the whole family thing. Yeah.
To meet that cute little redhead. He kept on talking about me and nobody could figure out who he was talking about. And one day his business partner and his business partner's friend were sitting there and he come in and I had walked into the restaurant to have coffee and Paul was telling Bill, he goes, "Yeah, I ran into Roger," and he says, "Oh, he saw that cute little redhead. He'd really like to ask her out, but he doesn't know if she'll go out with him." And Paul goes, "I just like to know who the heck this redhead is." And he looked at me and he goes, "Oh my gosh, I think I know who it is." They both turn around and they're staring at me, and I'm like, "What?" Do I got something on my blouse or something? But yeah. And it was me. And then I had matchmaker. All of our friends had discovered that we liked each other. And had a group of 15 people forcing us to sit next to each other at dinner one night.
Well, it's kind of fun when you have a bunch of mutual friends kind of helping.
We had a whole bunch of mutual
breaks the ice a little bit.
And didn't
I
know
knew Grandma.
Yeah. So.
Hey, you, Grandma.
And I love him as much of a crabby grump that he is. He is a good man. He's just.
Oh my God! The time that you showed me, like, oh my God, when you showed me that he had a shirt on and his pair of underwear. You're like, he's walking around like, where's your pants at?
My husband.
Yes. And I was like, can you see this? I was like, I'm doing the same thing. It's comfortable.
Yeah, Dean calls me and he forgets that, you know, he's laying in bed, ready for bed, with his Snoopy pillowcase.
In his bathrobe with his rug of
with his
hair
rug and a Snoopy.
Okay, you don't have to be jealous, Kevin, because I sprouted it.
I told him he needs a wax.
No.
Yeah. And did you see there was a woolly hair in Ron's room? A woolly hermit in Ron's room.
A woolly hermit. I was like,
yeah.
That is my name.
Are you jealous? He's probably got a whole rug of curly chest hair.
It's a 70s shag, right?
Yes, and he needs a weed whacker.
We love teasing Dean about his chest hair. He is nice enough to put a shirt on when he's live. So
at least I'm not in a bathrobe, right?
Well, you show up on the phone in the bathrobe half the time too.
Yes, I was going to say.
He doesn't pull his bathrobe close all the way. He keeps it.
Right. The one time he FaceTimes me, and all I could look at was his chest hair hanging out of his bathrobe, and I was like, he needs a wax or something. It was unruly.
And I'll talk to Kevin at 8:00 in the morning his time, 5:00 my time, and Kevin, before he answers it, he's zipping up his jacket. You know, he's putting a sweatshirt on or something. He always gets completely dressed before he answers the phone.
Deb Z says, I think he needs to bedazzle that rug.
I'll never get over because you're like, here's your chest hair, and you show me. That was the night when we were on our chat.
With the idea for you, Dean.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to braid it. There you go.
No.
I'll give you a weave.
You know what? Some people think I'm really gross, but does anybody else like popping zits? Because my husband won't let me get his zits because I get so excited about popping them. I would feel the same way about waxing your chest hair. I would get so much enjoyment out of it.
Okay, I at least trim it down before you rip it.
No, it's the ripping action that would make it fun. Dean has long chest hair, so it would be very painful.
But
I'd have to trim. I would have to cut it down really low.
Well, I wouldn't pull out as easily if you trimmed it.
No,
because you want that wax to grab that hair.
Weave with beads.
Kevin, we could do it together, right?
Yes. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to share all that fun. But no, my husband will run for me if I see a zit coming on. Like if he's getting a zit growing in or something like that, I get so excited and he knows. He runs away from me. Yeah, it's kind of gross.
No, I'm not into zit popping.
Ugh. I mean, I have a cyst that I've had, a small cyst on the back of my neck for like since
that you can
10
actually
years.
have removed.
Do what?
You can have those removed.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bothering me. I mean, well, it's not growing and it's not bothering me. So why mess with it?
My husband got a cyst for me on my back that popped, and that was like the nastiest smell I've ever smelled in my life. I have a hole in my back where, because I was
surgically
messing with it. I was messing with it, and it started getting really swollen and inflamed. I actually looked like I was like the hunchback because I had a big like golf ball in the back of my neck.
Yeah.
And I was messing with it, and then all of a sudden, I don't remember what he did. He ended up putting a Band-Aid over it. And I think we were swimming or something and got wet and he took it off. And as soon as he did, it literally popped. And so he was pushing it all. It was the nastiest smell I've ever smelled in my life. It was so gross.
Yeah, it's like because all that is that clogged pore, that follicle, that debris gets built up, sweat, oils.
Yeah, maybe
grime.
It's probably oil.
It was gross.
When you first pop it, it looks like cottage cheese shooting out.
Okay, we don't need those visuals, but
thank you, Dean.
But no, this is an interesting question Because if you pop it, you don't get that sac out.
You have to get that out.
Yeah, then you can get.
If they're big, you have to have them surgically removed because if that sac, they'll come back and they'll be.
Sorry, T-Barb.
Yeah, either if you don't get that sac out, you can get sick if any of that stuff leaks into your blood system.
But that's a boil, that's not a cyst. A cyst is, if I had ganglion cysts are like a gel type.
It feels mushy, yeah.
It's like gel.
It was mushy, but it was green coming out.
Yeah, that would be a boil. That's infectious. Oh. Yeah, that's like a hair follicle that's gotten infected.
Yeah, it stunk. So it smelled like an infection. It was gross.
Yeah.
Same thing. A cyst would stink too. But yeah, you have to get, like I said, that sac out, or else it'll regrow, or you also run the risk of getting any of that seepage.
Getting it more. Yeah, he got.
And believe me, because when I had COVID, I got a boil, which is a form of bed sore.
I just saw 3 people. Not a very I think they're over this conversation. Let's change the topic.
I ended up with severe blood poisoning. I had to have emergency.
Hey, Shay Kitty.
To remove the sac because it had gotten this big. It was awful. Yeah, and that was.
Ooh, what's that code mean?
Too much information.
You can write it in the private chat. We don't have to give our secrets away. I just want to know what that means.
No, we need to talk about a better subject. Let's get off the.
That's what I was saying. I'm sorry.
T-Barb, my stomach.
I just saw
no more medical stuff.
I just saw in the chat we lost 3 or 4 people and all at the same time.
Blame them.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Now I'm stumped. What the?
Somebody give us a good question that's not stomach churning.
Right.
Okay, who was somebody's favorite celebrity they follow? Let's just go that route. What celebrities
follow anybody?
Celebrities.
Yeah, I don't follow anybody really.
I don't know. I was asking more so for the chat.
Oh, okay.
Did everybody see Look Up?
Sorry, Connie. I did not. I need to watch it.
It was really good.
Oh, Debsy says, I love gross medical stuff.
I do too.
But see, Debsy has a sense of humor.
I pre-med too, so if when I was in college, had CSI already been on, I would have gone into forensic psychology, forensic work, because I'm I love forensics.
I could love watching Dr. Pop.
Luke Grimes. Who's Luke Grimes?
Put me at the body farm,
He's on Yellowstone, which I haven't watched. I know it's on Peacock, and everybody tells me I need to watch it.
What was it?
Yellowstone. Luke Grimes on Yellowstone.
Oh, I'll have to look at that. I got Peacock on my. But
Miss Shay Kitty says Don't Look Up was good.
Don't Look Up was really good. And Meryl Streep plays the female version of Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious, though.
Probably only Meryl could do that. I think she's the best actress.
Oh, you just wanted to shoot her. I love Meryl Streep. I wanted to wring that woman's neck,
I don't want to talk about an incision. No, thank you. Just kidding.
I'll tell you, when I was in college for nursing, my absolute favorite class was my anatomy class, and some people were so grossed out because there was a cadaver lab. It was the most interesting, cool class by far.
I loved anatomy. And
so people were I'd be so grossed out looking at a cadaver lab and probing and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was cool.
So I just looked at Luke Grimes and I don't know. Ooh.
I don't even know who that is.
I didn't either. I looked at his picture and not liking that energy.
I don't know. I saw, I just actually saw that prediction, which I didn't have in mind. I'm trying not to watch too many 2022 predictions just so I'm not biased, but I saw this. Debbie was talking about it, that she saw an ice cap collapsing and causing a lot of flooding. What do we see about that? When I was
talking about in the north,
I was kind of feeling but I don't think it's going to be catastrophic. But there will be some coastal flooding, I think.
Yeah.
Like another Katrina type level?
Well, no, it's like a big ice cap breaking off and going to the ocean.
It's gonna rise the ocean level some.
Yeah, a
but
little bit.
Not to the point it's taking out, half of Florida or anything like that. But
who do you think it's not then?
Consistent shifts in the Florida Keys.
I don't think for entertainment purposes only. When I saw his picture, I think he's on drugs. When I saw his picture. Okay, I mean,
yeah, but
for entertainment purposes only.
I mean, I can't speak for the man, but I don't know. I just feel like he was on drugs.
I think that there will be some raise of sea levels, maybe a couple inches. I don't see it being anything where it's like it raises like a couple feet or it floods all of the coastal. I don't see that.
I did do some research on the North Pole and the ice melting, and part of it is climate change, but there is volcanic activity on the northern pole of the world, on half of the Nordic ice, and that's a lot of what's causing a lot of that melting and that glacier movement. It is underground volcanic warming of the Earth's crust that's causing a lot of that melt. But there's a lot of melt from the atmosphere from damage we've done from climate change as well.
Right, and the temperature
causing it to rapidly between the two activities. It's causing it to melt even faster. And yes, our oceans will be rising slowly because of that melt away. And yes, more and more of the glaciers along Alaska and things like that are melting off, and they're slowly moving out of their ice age. They're not having as harsh winters as they used to have and things like that. And that is all climate change that's happening. I know when I was looking at some of my predictions, I'm seeing the southern region of the United States, Texas and all that, is becoming a colder, wetter climate over the next decade. So as people move back into Texas, they might want to consider that it's not going to stay in the 80s in the winter. They're going to start seeing colder weather, and they will have a freeze this year in late January, early February.
Yeah.
And
I got that hit.
Seeing that too. Yeah, but the people of Texas are going to absolutely throw a knit shit because the Texas government has charged them higher utility costs, but haven't done any of the infrastructure repairs that they should have been doing as they're collecting higher fees.
I got people to be out in droves protesting that and getting that changed.
But it is under a federal audit as well right now. The federal government is looking into that infrastructure setup because they did break away from the grid. And that's in question now. Okay, what are they doing with the funds? Why hasn't the money been put back into the infrastructure, et cetera, et cetera? And Texas is not happy that the federal government is coming in and auditing that, because I think there's going to be some political hands in the pie, embezzling money, being caught, or misappropriation of those funds. So,
we just got quite a few questions if we want to go through them real quick.
Sure.
So I posted my celebs that I liked. Linda Carter and Jacqueline Smith. I know they're old, but I'm talking about in their prime, their heyday. And I can't leave off Farrah. And fuck it, Kate Smith. Might as well have
we have that oceanfront property in Apple Valley. At some point in time in our world's history, that will happen. I don't see it in the near future.
I don't know where Apple Valley is.
It's up along the I-15, San Bernardino Valley into the Mojave Desert.
Oh, so that's not going to be flooding anytime soon, is it?
Well, there's a whole mountain range between her and the ocean.
Oh, right.
And all of it.
What's surprising though? I was feeling that there would be a sea level rise affecting it, But I mean, who knows when? I mean,
it's not going to go that far up north.
Right.
That part.
Oh, she's saying it was a joke question, Kathy.
Right.
Yeah, I know that. I always said when I moved to Nevada, I'll have oceanfront property after these. Yeah,
maybe in a couple
Nevada,
thousand years we'll be underwater.
Someday, way out in the distant future, will become the new coastline of the United States. But actually, that's going to go underwater too.
Kathy D asked, and this is a good question, and I haven't quite figured it out myself, but what will happen with the vaccine mandates in SCOTUS? I've always felt that they would that they wouldn't do anything about it, but I feel like
I think it's going to stay in place the way Biden has
had it.
All large corporations.
That's what I was feeling
because
before.
It's for the betterment of I don't care if it's not equipment. It's for the safety of the workers.
Mm-hmm.
And, we have laws on the books that say you cannot pass a contagious disease knowingly. If you have HIV, you can't go sleeping around with everybody to give everybody HIV. It's against the law. And I think COVID it's under the same. It's a public safety issue and it's a work hazard issue.
But I mean, you were old enough to remember this in the 80s because I was just a kid. We taught.
I worked in the insurance
industry. So how did that? So my question to you then is, and how did we as a society react to that? Because it did change things. I mean, it really didn't. But with this pandemic, everybody's going scared when they should have been more scared about getting AIDS.
It did. There was a number of people that were prosecuted for actually spreading AIDS around because they literally gave, somebody a death sentence, knowingly passed it. It's when they were diagnosed and knowingly passed it. And yes, there was a few people prosecuted, but I worked in the insurance industry back when AIDS had came out, and watched the evolution of life insurance policies getting rewritten because it cost insurance companies a tremendous amount of money because as soon as people were diagnosed, they went out by life insurance, and then they would die and they would have to pay those policies out. So they started putting riders on that policy, and there was a big turn. I see that happening with COVID too. People that the medical insurance will not be, they will write medical policies. If you do not take the vaccines and the precautions, you're going to be put with less coverage. You'll have some coverage for medical care, but you're not going to get the coverage that those that are vaccinated are. And I think treatment plans, if I get COVID, I need that treatment, that one that they're talking about now, where they give you the antibodies. I think somebody that is fully vaccinated, has taken all those precautions, should be higher on that kind of treatment plan than somebody that took no precautions whatsoever. No vaccines, no masks, no preventative measures. Shouldn't put you on the top of care list.
My feeling with this question is I've always felt that the vaccine mandates were going to get stronger, but from this case and like not really watching it on the news, but seeing it, I feel like the conservatives in the Supreme Court are trying to do something. They're up to something. That's what I'll say. I don't know how successful they'll be, but they're up to something with that.
I think there is going to become such a political issue that they're going to walk away from the politicalness of it.
And that might happen too.
Okay, I have to head out for just 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I think the excuse of comparing it to, well, it's not like sparks on a machine. Well, yeah, actually, it is like sparks on a machine, because if the machine operator is sick and dying and at work trying to do their job because they don't have to leave, and they're showing it with COVID and passing around the workplace and not functioning, doing his job, yeah, it is sparks in the machine. So yeah, it is a public safety hazard. And it's just the same thing like parents sending their kids running a temperature, giving some aspirin to send them to school anyways. And trust me, I've talked to teachers. There are parents that do that, knowing that COVID's around. but they've got a job and they can't take the time off. And so he's running a low-grade temperature. He's not really totally sick yet. And that kid goes to school, and then they discover that child has COVID. And now he's exposed an entire classroom, or worse, the whole playground with COVID. So yeah, it's common sense disease. Take protections, take precautions. Granted, not everybody can take the vaccine. And I do understand that, because I'm deathly allergic to medications, and I had to take the Johnson & Johnson because the other 2 vaccines that came out first were, I'm allergic to the main ingredient that carries that vaccine. And I cannot take it because of drug allergy problems. So,
Yeah, I feel like they're up to something, but I think ultimately there will be more protections and more mandates coming in this next year. I'm not going to get into this.
Mainly part of that up to the employer too, and say, well, you can make it your own company policy. They may not make it an OSHA issue, but they may not say, well, no, companies, if the company wants that is part of their hiring process.
One of my concerns is for the military members, being a veteran myself, the military members that are actually refusing to take it.
And I don't get that, because you're mandated to take everything they offer.
Exactly.
And then
I was hearing that on the news, and I was like, no, you're at the discretion of our government at that point. If they say this is something that you need to do to be deployable, you can't reject a vaccine.
Basically,
unless your doctor says you can't take
Let's not talk over each other.
Military.
Okay.
You're their United States property when you're in the military.
Yeah.
And they'll be the first to tell you that.
So I'm concerned because on the news that I was hearing, I haven't looked too much more into it, where they're saying that they're going to be discharged. I'm like, well, they're probably going to be a lot of dishonorably discharged or discharged other than honorable, something like that.
I think I'll be okay.
I think they'll dishonorably discharge them.
Yeah, because you can't just refuse. I mean, if you're
normally they just run them through a line and give them a shot. They don't tell them what they're giving them.
Right.
Here's your vaccine, and they've done tons of medical experiments on military personnel without ever notifying them. It's been practiced for centuries.
Right.
It's nothing new. So
somebody has to
do an option.
I'm gonna mute real quick.
Are Harry and Meghan moving to New York?
I heard yes.
I heard yes too.
Yeah, I heard yes also.
On this natural disaster, I'm going to get more into my 2020 predictions, so I don't want to get into it too much. But the answer is yes, and it's going to continue with the Earth rebalancing and kind of purging some of that negativity. And yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot in climate change too. There's going to be a lot more weather events.
Yes, you can be medically, for Third Eye's question. Yes, you can be you can be discharged to the military for mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend that became schizophrenic while he was in his 20s and was medically discharged, but it is a medical discharge. Mm-hmm. They recognize it as a medical disability. It's not a dishonorable. And he does come out with a package.
Not even a general discharge? No, it will be there'll be paperwork. There'll be Article 15 involved. There'll be a court hearing, and there may be time to put in prison, depending on how severe it is. You could be sent to prison for a bit.
Yeah, he had actually gotten in. The good friend of mine that ended up with schizophrenia had gotten into some trouble because of the schizophrenia, some of the actions he was taking. But once he was diagnosed with the mental with the mental condition, the Article 15s and stuff like that were reversed for disobeying orders and things like that because he was not mentally stable.
Why are you laughing at, Dean?
My guides are laughing at that question.
Oh,
the answer to that is no, not in the next
this year, but in the next
it's
5
coming.
to 7 years. Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
They are making themselves very visible to a lot of individual people right now.
They're also watching over a lot of nuclear places, making sure that we're not blowing each other. Blowing ourselves up.
They're going to keep us from blowing ourselves up.
I mean, we can't even take something that's going to help get rid of this this virus because everything's so politicized. You think it's a great idea for the aliens to come down here now? I mean, half of these Trumpers would think that the aliens are coming to blow us up and aren't coming in peace.
Not only they're laughing, but they're reminding me of like the Twilight Zone series where the aliens came down.
We're just not quite ready at this point for them to make themselves known, and they know that. It'll be in the next 5 to 7 years.
But when it happens, it's not going to be like War of the Worlds invasion, and people aren't going to be thinking the world's coming to an end and we're being invaded and we're not going to attack and things like that. It's going to be a very peaceful.
It's going to happen moderately, and it's already probably starting to happen where they're making themselves known more. It's going to happen gradually so that it's not like a total shock when they do make themselves known.
Is it going to be like Roswell or Alienation?
And if you look at what our government's doing, they know it's going to happen soon because they're releasing this information and seeing how people are reacting to it.
Yeah.
So our government's preparing the people, by acknowledging that, we're tracking you.
I'll be back in just a minute or two, guys.
And all that. So
that's what Hollywood does in the elite and those upper echelon of the powers that may be. They groom us through the media. So you're like, it's not so bad. Really? And at first it's like shock value. Then at first it's like you get desensitized to it to where it's not going to bother you.
And most people out there believe in that. They've seen UFOs. They believe in, and that we're not the only ones in this universe. And they do surveys on that stuff. People are much more open and realize that we cannot possibly be the only life in the entire universe. I mean, let's get real about this now. And I think the one good thing that we will have come out of that is it'll change the way we use the word alien, and we'll become human beings on this earth, earthlings versus aliens, and there'll be racial division. I think we'll change racial divisions. For a good part of us, there'll still be those mega idiots who think they're even superior than these high-tech alien beings that come to Earth. They'll be more superior than them too as they pick the straw out of their teeth.
I wonder if that's why Trump was so fast in getting Space Force set up.
I think Trump was one of the presidents that was kept completely out of the dark on those kind of national secrets.
Do you think Space Force?
But it would be because he wanted to overpower them. He would think we could beat them. It would have been a.
Yeah, but my thing is, I actually think that's probably, now thinking about that question about the aliens, I think that's probably another reason why Space Force, because when I was in the Air Force, there was so much hype, so much talk. Oh, this is coming. We're going to get this. And it was part of some of our chants, like space power. And it was like,
but hasn't the Air Force been working on that for years?
Actually, I honestly think since the Army Air Corps days, because there was some shit going on during them days.
Yeah.
Before they split off from the Army, and then of course, then there's
and of course NASA.
Mm-hmm.
We do have NASA is our Space Force. It may not be fighter products, but that's part of what our I think it's just going to be
I work for NASA. Space Force is a joke.
What?
Well, give it time. They're just brand new, KS. Just give it time. I'm optimistic. I'm being very optimistic here. Why? Because I'm a science fiction fanatic, okay? Can you at least give me that, KS? Just let it have some time to grow. People thought the Air Force was a joke when it branched off from the Army.
I've always felt very connected to the Palladium system. It's always someplace in the sky. I've always looked. And when I realized that I was looking at the Palladium system, it always shocked me.
KS keeps going back. It's a joke.
Who said it's a joke?
The KS said, I worked for NASA. Space Force is a joke. And I was begging her or him to just let it, that the Air Force was looked as a joke when it branched away from the Army. And now this is very, very, very brand new. So you have to give it years, give it 30 years, and let them.
Well, the Army or the Navy, because a lot of our pilots are in the Navy too.
There's chopper pilots and there's pilot. All the services have various pilots,
right?
So various forms of fighter pilots.
I grew up always feeling like it was the Navy that had the majority of our pilots, not the Air Force, because of I grew up in San Diego when I was a young kid, so we have all that, the naval ships, and I live by NAS, and
that's a funny shit. He says, I think rumple bottom much.
Right. The aliens don't want him up there.
Holy shit!
Well, I think we should send Trump to Mars and just leave him.
I saw a comment that I want to talk about real quick because I've been off like the last week and a half with Betty White passing, and
that really hit my daughter.
I love Betty White so much. Me and my husband watch Golden Girls every night before we go to sleep, and it's funny because usually when somebody first passes, I don't pick up on them right away, but she came to me like hours after I heard of her passing, and she just wanted to extend her gratitude to all of her fans, and that's really what the message was about, all the love and all the appreciation she has for her fans. And she was also saying that how privileged she was to be in that spotlight and be so adored by everybody. It meant so much to her, and helping animals too.
80-decade career. I mean, look at how many generations' lives she touched. And my daughter and my mother watched Golden Girls together all the time.
Yeah.
And
but she has had so much appreciation to all of her fans and all her love, and she was happy. Her energy was so emphatic, and it was just so lovely. But
she was just a beautiful, warm-hearted woman.
Yes,
I mean, she just had nothing but love for life, for animals, for her work.
Yeah,
I thought I would mention that since I hadn't been on in a while, but it was really beautiful, the energy coming through.
Now that you mentioned that, after I heard her pass, I started watching all of her appearances on the Carol Burnett show when she played on the family skits. I just loved her so much because she came off really snippy. She was really, really sassy, and I love that.
Burnett's going to be somebody that I'll be really upset when she passes too, because I was so into Carol Burnett.
I love Carol Burnett.
Yeah, absolutely huge. In fact, my mom loved Carol Burnett so much that we actually ordered her the entire series when my mom was sick, and she watched her every day.
Barb.
And then Lyle Wagner was also on the show too. And then he went to Linda Carter with Wonder Woman. So I was like, and I love my Linda Carter. And it was so funny too. I was cleaning out one of the closets that I had some stuff stored in my parents' house. And my dad's like, you need to go through all those posters. What do you want to get rid of? And I pulled, I was like, I'm keeping this one. And it was Linda Carter just doing this number in her costume. I was like,
so funny because my 5-year-old granddaughter has like 3 or 4 Wonder Woman costumes, and she wears them. And she insists on wearing them out shopping and everything else. And every so often somebody will make a comment, oh, can you believe that little girl's running around in a Halloween costume? My daughter will turn around and say, hey, look, she loves Wonder Woman. And if that's what she wants to wear and it makes her happy, why not? You know?
And actually, I actually have the Alex Ross, a print, a poster of Alex Ross's painting, a comic book artist. It's a watercolor painting of Wonder Woman, and it's hanging in my daughter's room right now. I paid $20 for that thing. I ain't getting rid of that.
And my 4-year-old grandson is a Spider-Man. I mean, he discovered that Crystal bought him for his birthday. He found them before his birthday. His birthday's on the 30th of January. His Spider-Man bed set, sheets and blankets, and she sent me a picture of him. He's just wrapped up in them, and he is so cute. And I bought him the whole Marvel comic 27 figure set. He got on the phone. He said, Grandma, it's my favorite Christmas.
You know who we should do? We talked about Kathleen. We talked about Alfred Hitchcock, but I kind of want to do Carol Channing too.
Oh yeah.
I kind of want to go to Carol Channing because she's funny.
She is hilarious. I heard her go, okay, yeah. Yeah.
I see her doing this.
Right. God. Yeah. Excitement. Yes. Isn't that funny? Looking for my tablet.
One of my favorite things with Carol Channing on it had to be when in the 80s, they had like this 2-part series with an all-star cast. And it was Alice in Wonderland. And she played the White Queen, the chess character. And I don't remember who played the Red Queen. But yeah, it was on there.
I remember that.
Yeah, look at she did. It was a 2-part series. Even Sammy Davis Jr. was in there. He played the caterpillar.
Koopy wanted to come say hi.
Hello.
Sweetie.
Hello.
He was mad because my dogs get mad when I do collabs or stuff. I lock them upstairs so they can't come down and bug me. And when I was just up, they were both running out of our bedroom and came downstairs. And I was like, fine, you can come down with me. You can say hi to everybody too.
And they don't go on the floor.
Tucker, who always comes in, both Mickey and Tucker will come and stand at my door and just start meowing at me. But Mickey usually is meowing to get out. Tucker's meowing because he thinks he's supposed to be fed canned cat food anytime he wants.
Little bougie little kitty, isn't he?
Oh yeah, and I'll feed him, and then one of the other cats will come in, and I save the rest of the can. I split the can between them. He'll go and knock the cats out of the other dish and try to eat all of it. He wants his and theirs, and so I'll pick him up and throw him outside because he's already ate. He doesn't like that, but oh well.
And then Mr. George wants to come say hi now too. But I don't
so George doesn't go on the floor, does he?
What, go potty on the floor?
Baby.
No, remember, because we were talking about...
Yes, George does not sleep on the floor. George rules the roost of this house after
because it was those of you who don't understand from that comment was because we were talking. Kevin made the comment on my show about how the dog, they have a California queen size bed, right? And how the dogs take up so much space. They don't really have a lot of space to go.
Play in the bed sideways and hog up all the bed.
A California king or a queen?
A California king.
California king, and I said I need a bigger bed.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine as tall as you are being on a queen size bed.
Well, I think me and my husband are actually talking about a king size bed is wider than a California king.
No,
California
it isn't. They're the same width. They're longer.
It's wider. It's wider. The California King comes out. It's longer. I think it has more surface area because it is
the California King is 2 feet longer. So if you're over 6 foot tall, your feet don't hang off the edge of the bed.
From your feet, but width-wise, a king size bed is bigger. It's like
because I put my California King on my California frame, on my standard King frame. Took the exact same size frame. It's just the length.
Well, I remember when at my other house, I didn't have enough room width-wise for a regular king because it was wider than the California King. And that's why we got the California King, because it would just fit in there. T-Barb, yeah, but I would like a little bit more, like another foot of width room would be nice. And
it doesn't matter if it's a twin bed or a king bed. I don't get any more room regardless. So my husband's side of the bed is the middle.
T-Barb has a king-size bed just for me, and my favorite's when I piss off my husband and he doesn't want to sleep in bed with me and he'll sleep on the couch and I have the California King to myself. That is just a wonderful feeling.
Don't you sleep? I sleep fantastic by myself. I get the most restful sleep when I'm by myself.
We were talking about Ricky and Lucy beds, and I said that sounds great to me.
I suggest I told them
the 2 twin beds.
2 queen-size beds.
No, I need bigger than a twin, but
I told them we could get 2 queen-size beds and then we could both have the whole bed to ourselves, like when we're in a hotel. Anytime we go to a hotel and we have 2 queens, I'll sleep in the other bed.
Yeah. See, my husband gets pissy about that.
Well, my husband gets pissy about it too, but I see no reason why. We're used to the bigger bed because we have the California King.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just uncomfortable switching back to a queen when we haven't slept in a queen for years and years and years. So.
T-Barb Cooper is
because I'm 5'9" and he's 6 foot, so.
Yeah. T-Barb Cooper is an Australian cattle dog, so it's kind of a similar breed. It's a little bit different than an Australian Shepherd. And George is he's a long-haired Chihuahua, and I think a Jack Russell Terrier mix.
Yeah,
he has a Jack Russell spotting, and he's much bigger than a typical Chihuahua.
His spot's a little bit wiry or fur too.
Not really wiry, but around his neck, it's almost like a crimped. It's not a wired texture, but it's crimpy.
Yeah. That's the Jack Russell.
Yeah.
They're good dogs, though. High energy.
Yeah, and he likes to try to hunt too. He's got quite a few mice. At my other house, I don't have mice in this house.
Yay. Don't worry, he'll get squirrels and gophers too.
No. You better leave those squirrels alone.
My cat goes across the street and gopher hunts and gets his nose all scratched up. It's so hilarious. And you would think he'd learn to they bite him. And you can see that the 2 long teeth marks, on the top of his nose. But he'll go and chase him weeks, and he'll just have his whole nose is all swollen up. But he's, stupid enough to keep chasing him.
Well, we were talking about geese earlier, and I have geese out in my pond in the back. It's all fenced off from the pond, but even right now, which is weird because usually they're more south, but they're just sitting on the frozen pond. But my dogs like to run out there.
Not too far from you, too. Besides Erie, you have a smaller lake near your house.
Well, it's not really. No, I'm by Lake Erie is probably the closest.
Yeah, I thought you had like a long L-shaped lake, or is that in your neighborhood?
I have it's like a river pond kind of, but we have the Grand River that's nearby that will go up to Lake Erie. But no, my dogs like to run out and first thing in the morning and go ballistic and chase the geese.
My daughter lives about an hour and a half from Kevin, and she's in Pennsylvania, not in Ohio. And they have wild turkeys up there.
Oh, yeah.
They have, I think she said they counted 30 of them on their property, and deer. And the kids just think it's so wonderful. They can sit out on the deck and watch the turkey and the deers. And they have all kinds of fruit trees and nut trees around their property.
Oh, nice.
And Indian grass on their property.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah, I lived at my grandma's house and she had like 90 acres of land. and she would get turkeys and see deer and a whole bunch of different animals. Saw UFOs up above there quite a few times too. But yeah, it was cool to watch all the animals. When I was growing up, she would have horses, and she had pigs for a few seasons, and chickens. Well, I don't know about you all, but I am starting to get really tired. So
yeah,
I think I'm going to call it a night, although I had so much fun hanging out with everybody. And of course, if you're watching and you're not already subscribed to Kathy's or Dean's channel, please do so. Kathy's Guided Light Tarot and Dean's channel is The Hermit's Corner. And we always have so much fun getting together and hanging out and chatting.
We love doing collabs. We talk a lot behind the scenes too. Yeah. So yeah, we're all good friends.
Please like, subscribe. I'm sure I think our account's down, but if you didn't see it before, I'm doing a collab with Mel this week. I'm really excited about. I have Sharon coming on my channel on Tuesday.
Sharon,
and so that's Sharon Lee. Yeah, so that should be a fun collab.
I need to schedule time with her.
Yeah, I think Dean's joining us Sunday.
I'm gonna let you know about tomorrow. I'll know more tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
well, I'll send you a link regardless. And our rule of thumb with Kevin is if you're not too tired and but take care of yourself first always. So because self-care is really important. So that's what the whole crowd always take care of yourself first, because you can't take care of others unless you take care of yourself. So I've been having downloads for 3 days solid now that have been so heavy they're coming with a headache, and the headache is finally dissipated. It's the ringing has stopped finally too. Thank God, because it's been a major download, and I haven't even done any meditations on what all this download's been about. But
when I get headaches with my downloads, a lot of times for me, it's an earthquake coming too.
Well, somebody had asked me about an earthquake today, and but it didn't sound like an earthquake. That's a different buzzing. I feel that more. I feel it in my arms and stuff too. My whole body, I sort of get a vibrational flow through me when it's an earthquake.
It's a little bit more lower energy dense, like buzzing.
Yeah, I hear it, but I also feel it in my limbs. Sort of like when my arms tremor from my MS. It's like it's like a tremory feel, but it's very distinctive. But yeah.
All right. Well, I hope that everybody has a great night. And like I said, it's always so much fun to have Kathy and Dean on the channel. They're always welcome, and then we love them. So I will see you all on Thursday if you're not busy tomorrow. I think Dean and Kathy are both having a live stream, right?
Yeah. Dean's going to come join us, and then Sharon Lee should be joining us. I haven't talked to her this week, which is weird. She usually Sharon and I talk 2 or 3 times a week. But yeah, Sharon usually joins us. Usually I hear from her long before she's going to counsel.
He's doing something on his channel though, right?
Do I?
Are you doing something on your channel tomorrow too, right?
I'll be doing something. I don't know just what exactly, because I'm still trying to figure out that show again, what I want to do with it. Or might not do. Do what?
So make sure to check them both out and subscribe if you're not already. But
I'm looking forward to you and Mel, watching you and Mel read together.
Yes, I'm really excited. All right, everyone. Well, have a good night. I love you all, and we'll see you all soon.
Yes, we love you, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Night, everyone. Bye.